Today we're going to look at two-dimensional grids. And what that is a way that we can see all the possibilities of what can happen when you do two things. So two events. Let's say, for example, we roll a die and we spin a spinner. So on the left you can see our spinner and it has 5 colors. And so the colors that we see on this spinner are red, so let's just call that R, orange, let's call that O, purple, yellow, and green. So that's one axis that's used for our spinner. Now let's make another axis and use that for our die. And of course a die has 6 faces, and the faces have numbers, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or 6 numbers on our die. So the way we have this laid out, we'll be able to see what are our possibilities if you do both things, if you spin the spinner and you toss the die simultaneously. So a two-dimensional grid shows us what happens when you do two things. So we take each number and bring it across, and we take each color and bring it up. And of course, it creates a grid. And the grid meets in certain places. Now, to figure out how many places the grid meets, we can just look at the number of colors, and in this case, there are 5 colors, and we can look at the number of numbers, which is 6, and that will tell us that the grid meets 30 times, so 5 times 6. Which also tells us that the number of possibilities are 30. 30 possibilities. Let's just say pos. All right, 30 possibilities, which means, for example, I can roll the die and get a 1 and spin the spinner and get a red. Or I can get a 1 and an orange, a 1 and a purple, a 1 and a yellow, a 1 and a green. And then I could go on so on and so forth. The 2 and the red, the 2 and the orange, so on and so forth. And when you count up the number of possibilities in all, there are 30. Now, how does that help us with probability? Well, let's just look at a couple examples. So I am going to ask you for the probability of getting a yellow and an even number. So a yellow, what's the probability that you get a yellow and an even number? So how can we do this? Let's use a red, let's use a black to mark everywhere that it is yellow and even. So yellow and even would be yellow and 2, yellow and 4, and yellow and 6. There are 3 places where we have yellow and even. And these 3 places are 3 places out of a total of 30. So the probability of getting yellow when you spin the spinner and even when you toss the die, both events, is 3, 1, 2, 3 out of a total of 30. Now, we need to make sure we remember the difference between and or that we discussed earlier. And is the intersection, but if instead I ask for the probability of yellow or even, that's the union. That's everything that's yellow as well as everything that's even. So yellow or even is everything that's yellow as well as everything that's even. So I will use a red circle. Everything that's yellow is 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? As well as, because of that word or, everything that's even. So we have these here. There are a bunch more. So let's fill those in. Even, every single thing that's even, as well as everything that's yellow. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. There are 18 places that are either yellow or even, or both. So yellow or even is 18 out of 30.